What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran and I like helping people using a spiritual perspective. So today, guys, I wanted to talk to you about affirmations. Alright, now if you click on this video, you may have problems using affirmations to your advantage. Okay, and there's going to be some very good reasons behind that. Alright, I'm going to name them all. But let me first preface this whole video by saying affirmations can work. It's not that they're totally absolutely useless, but they're ineffective, often very impractical, and they only create self-sabotage. So I'll explain to you why affirmations are something that you really should just forget about doing because they're not helpful. Okay? So let's start with the idea of an affirmation and really just what it is, right? So an affirmation is essentially a positive or negative statement that you affirm to yourself in the present. Okay, now usually people are doing this for a positive development, right? I am bringing in a lot of money into my life. I am worthy. I accept my body. I am attracting love into my life. Okay, all of these positive affirmations, right? But affirmations are also very negative. Those are the statements that we already tell ourselves. I'm not worthy. I'm ugly. I'm not worthy of a job. I can't do this. I'm always going to be alone. Right? These are negative affirmations. They're still affirmations. They just affirm something, right? So we have the dichotomy between the two, right? We have on one hand this, on the other hand that. It's already leveling and setting up that sort of playing field, right? So the reason why affirmations don't work, and they've never worked for me, and I've never honestly have ever seen them practically work for anybody. No matter who I've coached or talked to, I've never really seen affirmations work to the best of their ability, right? And the reason why is because your conscious mind can't defeat your unconscious mind, okay? So no matter what you say, I am worthy and beautiful, what happens immediately after saying that is the negative emotions and feelings and thoughts that are the opposite of that, which you already are fundamentally conditioned to believe, come up in your unconscious, and you begin to have a war inside of yourself. From just saying one positive thing, you've created some sort of catalytic destruction going on inside of yourself that is much more powerful than any little positive statement. You can write it 1,000 times, you can write it 10,000 times, you can say it 100 times, you can say it 500 times. It's not going to erase the fundamental conditioning of your emotional pattern around that, right? So I am worthy, I am beautiful. Well, what comes up is I am ugly, I'm not worthy, I can't do this. Those emotions are what's real. Your thoughts don't control much of your life, right? There's this whole sort of idea that we can just think things and our entire life will change, right? That's sort of what this law of attraction stuff is kind of geared towards. Just thinking positive thoughts, ignoring negativity, and just focusing on what you want. Now, I'll do a whole video in the future about why the law of attraction is mostly just nonsense, but we'll focus on today just for these affirmations. And like I've already mentioned, just saying these things over and over and over again doesn't bring in the desired results, because what we're talking about is a feeling versus a thought. Okay? So that feeling is always going to be stronger than your thought. People like to think that their thoughts are themselves, and they identify with their thoughts. So it only makes sense that in the law of attraction and affirmations, we think we can just think something differently and change our entire reality. But the truth is, our emotions are really the things that are in control. Those are the things that drive us. Anytime you take an action, it's because you feel something. Okay? You're feeling something positive, something negative. But in either case, you're taking an action in either direction. When you just affirm something positively, it doesn't change the underlying emotion. That's years and years and years of conditioning. That's not going to go away just because you decide to say, I'm worthy, I'm attracting a job into my life, I have everything that I need. You can't just change your reality like that. Your unconscious is too strong, okay? It's not to say, again, affirmations, it's not that, of course, they might help you, but what's been shown in study after study after study, and what I've experienced in my personal life, is that just saying the positive thing it really only leads to a short-term sort of a short-term happiness, right? People get positive results and feelings for a very, very short window of time, maybe a few weeks, maybe even as long as a month. But what happens is that in 3 or 4 months, you're right where you started, you're just as negative, and all that happens is you just blame yourself. You just think, ah, shit, I need to do it more. I need to do it better. I need to keep going. I need to do it differently. I need to do it 200 times a day. I've only been doing it 50. Maybe that's why it's not working. I mean, I used to think this, right? Maybe I should go from saying 20 affirmations to doing it to 60, to 80, to 200. And all that I ever did was waste my time and my energy, because it didn't lead to anything. It just gave me a very short sort of feeling like I was doing something positive, because that's what all the spirituality is about, right? Doing positive things and ignoring all the negativity, ignoring reality in favor of just blind optimism, and to just sort of ignore everything within myself. So you ignore those feelings and you just focus on the affirmation. But the thing is, you can't ignore those feelings. They're fundamentally stronger than your thoughts. Your thoughts are just your thoughts. You can, negative or positive, you can choose to ignore them at any time. You don't have to identify with them. You can worry about something without having to think it's going to come into your life. You can be positive about something and not have to have such high expectations that you need that thing. Your thoughts do not weigh as much as your soul. Even though the way we live as humans, it would tend to, we wouldn't really want to think like that. But in either case, what's really motivating your actions in your life are your emotions. So if you want to make any great change in your life, you have to do something with your emotions. You don't have to change your thoughts. Your thoughts change with your emotions, because you'll notice that when you do say an affirmation and you're trying to get rid of the emotional block, you'll notice that emotional block comes up. And what automatically comes up with the feeling is a slew and a myriad of negative thoughts, right? So again, an example, I'm attracting a perfect dream job into my life, something that I love doing. Well, what immediately comes up, okay, at least from my own experience, is a negativity that I can't do it, that I won't be able to achieve that goal, and that it's impossible, and that I'm useless, and that I don't have enough skill or talent. Those are all the thoughts that come into my head from a negative feeling that I feel in my chest, okay? Because that is something that's been ingrained into me. The unconscious is stronger than the conscious mind. You're not going to beat your unconscious mind. You can't. I don't care what kind of people are saying this sort of crap, right? Because it seems that the only people who are really seem to have results with affirmations are the coaches and self-appointed gurus that are helping you by just saying positive affirmations. But they're not really being successful because of their positive affirmations. They're being successful because they're preying on you to believe what they're saying. It's no different than priests throughout history. Just, they weren't any closer to God. People just believed that they were. So they became successful at what they did. So it's not because affirmations is actually working for them either. Study after study shows affirmations are not as effective as you think. But I'll tell you what is effective. And this is genuinely more effective than just blindly saying positive affirmations. And you won't have any of the self-sabotage and any of the negativity and any of that freaking war. Because you don't have to battle with your unconscious mind. You're not going to win. The only way to win the war is to not fight it. You don't have to engage yourself in a war. It's just like with history. It's like, we got to go defend our territory against this territory. There's nothing left to do. Well, yeah, you didn't have to do it in the first place. You don't actually have to kill each other. But hey, we're not there yet as a species. But we can be there on an individual level with our unconscious mind and our own battle within ourselves. We can get there. We're there as a species enough right now to deal with our own self. We might not be able to deal with everything else that's going on at this time. Maybe we're a couple hundred years away from some idea of peace, world peace that is. But for now, we can deal with ourselves. We have that information and wisdom. So the way to do that, the way to counter or to do the opposite of just affirming things is instead to question. Question yourself. When you say an affirmation, such as negative or positive, so, let's just say you're trying to use an affirmation to say, I'm beautiful, okay, right? You're trying to use that affirmation. Now, it doesn't change the negative feeling inside of you that says that you're ugly, hideous, and worthless, right? Because usually most of us, our issues come down to being ugly and worthless, right? So it doesn't change those feelings, right? They're still there. So notice that affirmation. Notice that negative affirmation that you're already telling yourself. I am ugly and worthless. Change it. Change it. Don't affirm I am beautiful and full of worth. Question your negative affirmation that you already have inside of you. Question that negative thought. Instead of saying I am ugly and worthless, ask yourself, am I ugly and worthless? Right? Am I ugly and worthless? Well, then what happens is you open yourself up to a whole perspective, different ideas, outside of the box thinking, and an inquisitive mind. It opens up sort of your own higher self. It opens up your own inner wisdom. It allows answers to come from within to give you something. When you just say, I am beautiful and worthless, or sorry, that's not good, I am beautiful and full of worth, then you don't open yourself up for anything. You've closed every possible direction by just trying to be positive. But it doesn't work. That's toxic positivity. It's not helping you. It's not going to lead towards desired results. So instead, just ask yourself, am I worthless? Am I ugly? I mean, the difference is astronomical. I mean, imagine what happens when you ask yourself instead of just flipping it. Because then when you say, am I ugly and worthless? You start to think of instances in your life where, hey, maybe you weren't actually that ugly. Oh, well, there's that one time that girl was really into me, or that guy was really into me, or whatever, right? Or worthless. Like, well, there was that one time where I felt really good about myself, and there was that other time where I did this, and hey, maybe like I'm not as bad as I think, and if I am, then why do I believe that I am? So it opens up this introspective sort of dialogue with yourself, and it actually leads to answers and positivity, and it leads to a genuine optimism. It doesn't lead to a fake optimism, okay? Because New Age spirituality, I'm sorry to break it to you, has a lot of fake positivity. It's just blind affirmations after just nonsensical teachings which don't practically affect your daily life. They only give you short-term satisfaction that you can't question, because when you do, it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. And if you're already hard on yourself, the law of attraction and affirmations is only going to make you feel worse about yourself. Because if you're thinking something negative, then it only just seems like that negativity is going to come back around you. So imagine living in a universe where any negative thought you have, you're scared that it's going to come back to get you and that you're going to attract that into your life, right? You might have a thought one day that you're afraid that your kids are going to die or something like that. And then like, holy shit, does that mean your kids are going to die? Because that's basically what the law of attraction is bringing into your life, is a lot of unnecessary war. You don't have to do that to yourself. Don't treat it too seriously, guys. Just question. You can do it with anything. Let's say instead of using the positive affirmation, I've attracted a great job into my life. I'm attracting a great job into my life. Right? You take the negative thing that comes up from that emotion, which might be, I can't do it, and then you ask yourself, can I do it? Can I actually do it? And then you might think, well, yeah, I mean, I might be able to, because I've done other things, and I can do it. I can try this. I can try this. You come up with methods and new ways of doing things. You come up with ideas. You become the actual person that can help you. You don't need saving when you do that. You have it. You have the answers within you. That's how you find them. You just have to ask yourself questions, okay? It doesn't mean that you're going to get everything that you want overnight, but you never were going to do it anyway with affirmations. The only difference is that now you can begin to feel better today. You can begin to see your life change today. Affirmations, you don't really see that much. It doesn't have a long-term success. And I'm not just making this shit up. You guys can look it up. You don't have to trust me. You could just look at all of the studies that say this stuff, and you can see. I read about a study yesterday that they gave like a couple people, like 20 or 50 people, some kind of larger number of people, puzzles, anagrams, things to solve, right? Because that would be a challenge that would directly confront people's conditioned fears and responses and negative attitudes about being able to complete something, right? And so they asked people to say the affirmation versus question. Okay, so it was, like, I will complete the puzzle, I will complete the anagram, that's the positive affirmation, versus will I complete the puzzle? Will I complete the anagram? The people who questioned themselves, will I be able to, will I be able to complete this anagram, can I do this, they were the ones that succeeded more than the people who just affirmed it. Okay? Because of that attitude. Because when you question, can I do something, there's not really a reason why you can't. You've now opened yourself up to a whole bunch of problems. And when you ask that question, there's no war. You won't notice a whole thing going on inside of you. That just kind of disappears completely. When I start to question things, instead of affirming them, the negative responses don't come up. There's no negative emotions. I'm open to asking myself for higher wisdom. I've literally asked myself a question. There's no room for destruction and self-sabotage. There's just no room. And I get better results, and I see things change, and my perspective begins to change a lot quicker and more efficiently than affirmations have ever done for me. Okay? So I'm trying to get you guys to a point where you can introspect with yourself, where you can empower yourself in a better way. I genuinely think affirmations are some of the most useful, useless, they're not useful, some of the most useless things that spiritual teachers throw out there for people to eat up. Okay? I promise you, if you question instead of affirm, you'll get better results and you'll get them quicker. Because you can't affirm something you don't fundamentally believe about yourself, and that's going to be pretty much everything you're trying to affirm. Because if you weren't trying to affirm something positive, then if there wasn't like a negative thing already there, you wouldn't be trying to do that, right? You wouldn't just say, I'm positive and beautiful if you didn't feel like you weren't. Okay? So rather than say, I'm positive and beautiful, ask yourself, am I positive and beautiful? Because whatever that negative thought is, you can just challenge it rather than make any negative statements. Because again, a negative statement is still an affirmation. I am shitty. I suck. That's an affirmation, guys. It's just a negative one. It doesn't matter. Just put a question mark on the end. Am I negative and shitty? And do I suck? Am I useless? You're not going to come up with a self-sabotage war. Nothing bad's going to happen. You're going to open yourself up to wonderful opportunities from within, which is then going to affect your external life. And you'll start to see things that are better. Right? So that's my advice for you guys. Don't give me too much credit, but I do believe that it genuinely helps. And I hope you guys can try it out for yourselves. Just try it out. See if it works. See if you get better results. I have. I think it's better. I think it's more practical. And the whole point for me anyway is to treat spirituality in a practical, grounded way so that you get the best results. So that we don't end up just being hippies our whole lives, bouncing around from place to place like I have unfortunately experienced because I bought in to too much of this new age spirituality all at once. There's truth in everything, yes, but mostly there's truth in ourselves, and we can kind of discern the difference once we start asking ourselves questions and start finding our own answers rather than just having somebody on Instagram throw some crap at you and you just have to believe it because if you don't, somehow you're not spiritual. It's not fun, guys. I've seen Instagram. It's a nightmare. Please don't get your information from Instagram. I beg of you, read a book, do something, engage your neutrons, grow your mind. Don't go to Instagram and just believe every nonsensical thing you see. It's not going to help you guys. They're just fucking teenagers on, people on Instagram don't know what they're doing. I barely know what I'm doing. But I think I know what I'm talking about, at least with certain topics, okay? So, again, I hope this video helped you guys. I am going to Canada tomorrow, so wish me luck. Hope that I don't die on my plane. I might. It's always a chance. I probably won't. Probably won't. It's unfortunate. I'll have to still pay my taxes, but I'll be alive, I guess. So, I'll be gone. A little vacation, moving there. We'll see what happens, but wish me luck. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll be doing some more videos next week and getting into the swing of things and when I get settled and build my own empire or whatever. Moved on from the past. Okay, so I hope you guys do as well. This method helps me. I hope it helps you. Okay, guys, we'll talk soon. Have a good day.